Hi everyone and welcome back. I searched on YouTube to find a video hoping someone would have demonstrated the capabilities of the PreSonus Revelator USB microphone for singing purpose. I found a lot of videos demonstrating the microphone for podcast talking into, which is what you're hearing right now, but nothing about singing into the microphone. I wanted to know how capable this microphone is for singing purposes, especially singing songs which are mellow, soft, as well as loud and belting. Will it handle it? So I couldn't find one, so I decided to make one. I do have a couple of videos demonstrating the Revelator USB microphone. I will leave a link in the description and possibly a card at top, so you can watch my unboxing and doing a detailed review of it. But just to go over it briefly, I should mention that it has a DSP or digital signal processing chip built inside the USB, and that chip carries the FAT channel from PreSonus, which includes high pass filter, gate or expander, multiple choices of compression modules, as well as equalization modules, limiter, some voice effects, as well as reverb. And that can be applied before it even goes out and into your DAW. Now, for the price that you pay to get this microphone, I believe that's a really bargain. And I'm not even talking about the choices you have in the universal control of the Revelator, that you can use multiple inputs to mix for live streaming, podcast recording, Zoom meetings, and so on. But today's video is about singing into the microphone and finding out how capable it is. Now, looking at the screen, what we're looking at is the Revelator mixer found in the universal control from the PreSonus. And if you don't have this driver installed, you'll be missing out quite a lot. Make sure you do download it when you get the Revelator. Of course, you also get Studio One Artist Edition for free when you purchase the Revelator USB microphone. The initial screen might look something like this, but I like to have the FAT channel turned on so I can visually see what's happening. One thing I should also note that even though you can engage all of the features or some of the features of the FAT channel, there is an option in the settings that allow you to select and deselect the FAT channel to be engaged. That means it gets processed before it gets sent out to your DAW. In this case, I'm going to use Studio One. And what you just saw me disable it, that means even though on your headphones monitoring, you will hear all of the FAT channel settings, the EQ and compression, but what gets recorded on the track in Studio One is a raw. Now, this is a really great feature. That means you can have any other settings you like, including the built-in reverb while you're tracking, but still record dry signal on your tracks. And then you'll be able to use any other effects later on within your DAW to process it further. Now, just so that you can understand my testing procedure for this test that I'm going to do for singing, I'm just going to go briefly through my FAT channel settings. I have a high pass filter of 60 Hz, and then I have a gate just to get rid of some of the background noise, especially the noise from the fan of my laptop. And then I have the vintage EQ engaged with a little bit of sort of EQ setting. And I also have the compressor, which just gonna work out, especially when I'm belting it out to control all of that. And then I have the limiter as well on -1 dB. I won't be engaging or even looking at the voice processing filters and so on, because that is not part of this test. And also part of my vocal testing that I'm going to do is initially record the raw data as I explained, and later on I'm also going to engage the FAT channel and sing it again, the same phrase, and we'll be able to see and hear the difference in our DAW, how that affects your recording. Now, to demonstrate this, I have chosen a song Frank Sinatra My Way for 3 reasons. 1, because it's one of my favorite songs. 2, it's in the right key that I have chosen. And thirdly, it does have nice and soft beginning, and it does have loud and belting parts, which will allow me to test the dynamic range of this microphone. Of course, for copyright reasons, I won't be able to play the whole song for you as I'm performing, but we will have a listen later on. And again, please don't mind any pitchiness in my vocal, and as well as the accent, because English is my second language. And the whole idea is to test the actual the product itself and how it actually performs, how clear and precise it records on our track. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway. I'll face it all, and I stood tall, and I did it my way. Yeah, it was my way. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that, even though tiny bits, so that we don't trigger the copyright strike. But here's something I want to mention. The great thing about the Revelator and the fat channel that has compression is that over the years I have had this experience, is that applying compression to the vocalist while recording into their headphones, into the monitoring, which what the Revelator also allows you to do, and record still dry on your track, which what I did, as you saw, it helps the artist to perform better in multiple ways. 1, the reduced dynamics helps them to perform and stay in pitch as well. If you're not aware of this, give it a try. Apply compression to your monitoring headphones and see how well you actually perform. And this is, for me, a proven fact. Every artist I had in the studio had that vocal chain going through. So I'm going to go ahead and record the same song vocal again, but this time I'm going to engage the fat channel. So just make a quick note that when I turn it on, the vocal will get louder because of the fat channel being applied to the USB stream, what you're hearing now, and being turned on as well. Now it's got louder because the same stream is coming to my video capture and what you are hearing as well. And of course, you do still have the chance to turn any EQ or compression or limiter or any of the modules on and off to only allow certain modules engaged. But for this demonstration purpose, I'm going to have all of it on the way I have it set. And then we're going to have a look at it in the recording track and compare the raw to the compressed one. Let's have a look on the screen and the tracks to see what the difference there are between the raw audio and the fat channel engage one. There is certainly a difference. You can see how the engage compressor has already balanced everything out. So the makeup gain has boosted the signal for our, especially the soft parts, and the loud parts are pretty much compressed down as well. Now this is something you need to decide whether it's a good choice or not. It's up to you. So let's have a listen and compare the soft part and the loud part, and let's see if we can detect anything out of the ordinary, like noise or some clipping. I mean, the signal is level I've chosen is quite well, so there's no loud parts, there's no peaks, so there shouldn't be any distortion or clipping in the signal. But let's have a quick listen. Now for this, I will be switching back and forth from the raw recorder track and the compressed track. So the audio might get louder at times, so make sure you don't have your headphones or your speakers too loud. And now, this is the roll. The end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. Now, in both cases, of course, apart from the amplitude difference or the level difference, it's nice and clear. One other advantage also the fat channel has is that it's nice and clear of background noise because of the extender engaged in the fat channel. Let's move on to the loud parts. And through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and I spit it out. And through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and I spit it out. I faced it all and I stood tall and I did it my way. I loved, I laughed and cried. Now, listening back, I have to say even the raw recorded audio sounded really nice. I did feel that there is still some sort of compression when I was recording it. I could feel that something is there and I can just see it on the screen, but I can't put my finger onto it. Whether there is some other compression happening, I am not sure, but I can definitely tell there is some sort of compression even without the fat channel engaged. But listening to the one with the fat channel engaged, of course, this is all depends on your setting, how you set your fat channel. Of course, different settings will have different effects, whether if it's slow or fast attack, and the makeup gain and so on, as well as different compressors available in the fat channel that will have a different effect as well. Again, it's nice and clear what I was expecting and what I could hear in my headphone when I was singing. So what do I think of the PreSonus Revelator USB microphone for singing into? With my test, I believe it performed quite well, and especially having the DSP chip inside with the fat channel, that's an extra bonus that you may not find in any other USB microphone. And for the price, I think it's really a bargain. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. But there's one small issue that I have mentioned in my previous review video as well, is this noise. That there is no proper shock mount for the microphone to eliminate that desk noise and surrounding noise, table noise, and so on. But with communication from PreSonus, I have been informed that they are going to be releasing and selling shock mounts that you are able to mount the microphone onto to eliminate that problem as well, which is a great thing. Having the size of this microphone, personally, I couldn't actually find any shock mount in my studio or even online for sale that is big enough to hold it as a shock mount to go into a shock mount system on a mic stand. But as I mentioned, PreSonus is working on it, and very soon they will have a shock mount. So that means this is going to be a perfect microphone for podcast as well as singing. Now, if you have any comments, any questions about the Revelator, anything you'd like me to test for my next video, feel free to comment in the comment section below, as I'm always roaming around and looking for questions and answering them. So most likely there will be another follow-up video where I'm going to talk about the Revelator Universal Control Mixer, which can be sometimes quite confusing. So I will try to explain how that works, and which is really great for live streaming, podcast, Zoom meetings, and whatever else you are using the microphone for. Of course, don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified when that video is uploaded. And if this video was helpful, make sure you give me the thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great time making music. Cheerio guys, see you in the next video.